So comedian Bill Burr goes to an event for Conan at the Kennedy Center. And this just the other night. And Conan O'Brien. And he gets asked on the red carpet a couple of political questions by random reporters. Bill Burr has made multiple political comments before this moment. But look, the man acts like he's had a bad case of amnesia. He doesn't know why on earth they'd be speaking to him.
Okay, so this episode is Anna Kasparian and Megyn Kelly basically talking about Bill Burr clamming up on his red carpet. They're lashing out at Bill Burr. They're clashing over Bill Burr. I feel like the right has felt like, I feel like the right has lost things to talk about. They've ran out of stuff to talk about. And so now we're going to talk about Bill Burr and his red carpet moment. Of course, I'm going to talk about it, but I'll use it to my benefit or other things, right? But, let's go ahead and get into it. This is Megyn Kelly and Anna Kasparian. Anna Kasparian and Megyn Kelly giving their thoughts on Bill Burr's reaction at a red carpet event when he was pummeled with a bunch of questions. All right, let's go ahead and get into it.
About politics. Watch.
Tell us about your reaction to Luigi Mangione. I was reading up, that perhaps you've been supportive of what he did. What is your take on that?
If you were reading up, I don't think you read up on it. Because I said what I felt about it, and I said what a lot of people said.
Some people took it that way. So could you clarify what you think?
No, I'm not going to just have some controversial moments so you can get clicks. I'm not doing that. I mean, I'm here for Conan. I'm not doing all of this.
You said about Elon that he was ruining Earth, I saw on The View. You're critical of him. What do you think of all the boycotts, like even the violence?
I don't watch the news. I don't watch the news. I have no idea what's going on. I watch Instagram. I watch people wipe out on motorcycles. I watch lions and hyenas fight each other. This is the things that I do.
You're a journalist. Comedians are on top of current events.
No. That's weak. That's you guys passing the buck. You guys need to have balls again, which you don't. You guys always goes, should we be thinking this? Duh. You guys present stuff like that. You guys just have balls. You need to get.
I'll just say this though. I agree with a lot of what he's saying, but don't get it twisted because he's the same way too when it comes to like having balls about talking about stuff. Like everybody has that. Let me not say everybody. I don't like to speak in full absolution because we're talking about Bill Burr. So okay, but Bill Burr, you do the same thing too. So you were good with the beginning commentary of I'm here for something else and I'm not going to give you clicks. You could have just left it at that, but let's see what else happens here.
Get your balls back.
Okay. He's not into politics. He doesn't want to comment on news, in response to which I have this to say.
Dan.
Okay. Here's just one example on the two topics he was asked about that we found in about 10 seconds. Watch.
But CNN and Fox News are not going to bring up the insurance companies that are just going to keep everybody's premiums and still give themselves a bonus. Yeah. Yes. Free Luigi! I love how they acted surprised. Why did that happen? I have no idea. He wrote on the bullets why it happened.
Oh, we're back to Luigi. Okay, yeah.
I never left Luigi.
Why does Elon Musk dress like he just got out of a Hot Topic? I am so sick of that guy trying to rewrite his origin story like he was Matthew McConaughey pulling into the high school. It's like you were a nerd, nobody banged you, and now you have hair plugs and your laminated face.
Okay. I like Jimmy Fallon. He's a sweet guy. I can speak to that personally. But the over laughter in response to things that aren't that funny is not a good way. That's a bad.
Now let's see how Anna handles this. Because I actually think that the joke that he made on Elon was funny. I think I didn't expect it. Like he says he dresses like he's coming out of a Hot Topic or something. I think it is kind of funny. Like I do. Not all jokes are funny, but he is a comedian. And of course, he didn't see that coming. So he kind of burst out in laughter. What are we working on here? By the way, guys, please don't forget to hit like and subscribe button and the notification bell. Now, I want to see what Anna says to that. And then I'll give my commentary on what Bill Burr said. But I need to see.
Bad tick. Anyway, what do you make of Bill Burr suddenly, I guess, what? He doesn't want to talk politics anymore?
I found his jokes a little funny, but I'll say this: he saw the Mike flag. It was the Newsmax Mike flag, and he didn't want to give him anything. That's all that was. He just didn't
Triggered.
want to give them anything to broadcast. You know, maybe he doesn't trust them. Maybe he thinks they're going to take him out of context. Who knows? But to me, it was clear he didn't want to speak to conservative media.
We're back to the earlier point we were making. There are try living, life in my shoes, Elon's shoes, anybody named Trump's shoes. It's like, that's all you get is it adversarial media with a mic in your face, right? It's like,
but he didn't feel like it, right? So she already softballed it. Because my answer would have been, I don't know. Like, I'm not always in the mood for everybody to have their mics in my face either. This is like, what are we really talking about? He doesn't feel like it, right? Because now it's both sides. Don't forget, the right was all up on Bill Burr not too long ago. I think it was like 2 years ago. They were all up on him about, was it a year ago? I can't remember. He made some joke. He was basically telling the left that they take things too far, right? And the right was like, oh, Bill Burr, base, Bill Burr, base. And then now he says this stuff about Luigi Mangione, which, by the way, I'm not into the whole, like, oh, free Luigi. I don't think that we need to, be ending lives simply because, things with insurance, right? But at the same time, this is who he is. Why? So y'all were all upon him, but the minute you don't need him, now you're doing a segment about him because he didn't want to talk at the red carpet about politics. He's not a politician. He doesn't have to. He's a comedian. This is what you do. She's like, oh, this is my life, Trump's life. Girl, first of all, calm down. Secondly, Trump is he's the president. What am I saying? Furthermore, Megyn Kelly, you're a political commentator. People are going to stop you to be like, hey, what do you think of what's going on with the tariffs or whatever, this, that, and the third? Bill Burr is a comedian. Comedians don't feel like talking all the time. That's just how they are. There's nothing new about this. I don't understand why they act like this. And then Anna's like, yeah, he probably just didn't want to talk to conservative media. Or maybe he just didn't want to talk to anybody. I don't think he necessarily knew, like, oh, that's News Nation in front or Newsmax in front of him. He might not even know who they are. Like, why are y'all making it about this? And of course, Anna would take Megyn Kelly's side because she wants to be part of the pool club now. Don't you get? But this right here is not the pool club, Anna. Just so you know, people are actually moving from this too. They're tired of hearing about the vote. People want to know what's really going on. I'll give it to Megyn. She does have Glenn Greenwald on her show, so that's keeping her going to me. But like, a matter of fact, when is the last time Glenn Greenwald was on TUIT?
Like, why wouldn't you say isn't that who he needs to confuse or could convince, right, of his points? Isn't that the group watching Newsmax that he wants to get his message in front of more than anyone about Luigi and what a sympathetic character he is?
I think there's this mistake made by a lot of folks on the left, and I want to be clear about how wrong they are. So I get that media representing the other side might be adversarial. They might ask you provocative questions. But I actually think there's a lot of value speaking to them, not because you're trying to win the host over or the reporter over, but because you are sharing your message and your beliefs with an entirely new audience that may not have heard the arguments that you are making. It's not about the big public figures that you're talking to. Yeah. You're not going to win them over. That's clear. Mm-hmm. But you are sharing a message with half the country that might not have otherwise heard that message.
And Anna has now, of course, become she is the expert on talking to the other side. Look, I don't want to give this girl a hard time because a lot of people give this girl a hard time, right? And I get it, right? Like, like, oh, I'm talking to the other side. Yay. Like, bye. It should have never been. Yo, I've seen certain clips of her. Like, you were always performing because it went too far. F you if you voted for Trump. F you. I wasn't like that. I wasn't. In 2016, I kind of was like, oh, shoot, this really happened. But I wasn't all like, oh, F you if you voted for Trump. I moved on. I was dating this guy and he was like, man, I'm so mad at this. And he started throwing a tantrum and I was like, I'm going to have to definitely break up with him. Yeah, it wasn't about Trump. It was like, you're a freaking dude. Like, why are you like, what is this performance? I don't like borderline personality disorder. So, and you're giving me histrionics, right? So that's what I'm saying. But she was doing that stuff. So now all of a sudden you found this treasure of talking to the other side. Okay, fine. Okay, like, let's just normalize it, right? But Bill Burr is not, he wants to get his message. When did he say he wanted to get his message across to anybody? What are people turning Bill Burr into? He is a comedian. He's not Andrew Schultz, okay? Who's a comedian who goes to talk to everybody who I think is a CIA agent. He's not that, right? He's he's a comedian. I'm not gonna agree with him on a lot of things. And when he says to, and I'll even take that back. I'll leave this. When he told the media, you guys are cowards, you guys are told what to think. And I said, well, so is he and all that. But the difference is that's the media. So it shouldn't be like that with him. So he's right in everything he said. Like, stop looking to other people. Just do your thing. I just, it is just, this was really, it shows you the right really better get it together. MAGA. They better get it together quick. There's a lot going on with these tariffs. Everybody's telling you that everything is okay and good, and I'm not saying whether it's bad or good, but please, people need to do their research. But because Trump did it, everybody's like, yeah, right, we're winning. This is what winning looks like. We just dropped off 40,000 soldiers to the Middle East. That's not what winning looks like, okay? So I think that the right should just let Bill Burr do what it does, and Anna, please grow a bit more of a spine. You don't have to always agree with Megyn when you go on her show. I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye.